everyone! Today we're creating this miniature fairy garden. To create the house, use whatever material you'd like, but I just gathered up some twigs which I'll be cutting down to size. So what I did is I cut 4 twigs that were about the same length, and then I just glued them together like this to create the walls. So I'm creating 2 walls this way, and they ended up looking like this. And then once these are completely set, we'll use them to create the house. These will go on the 2 sides, and then we'll need another piece the same length to connect these 2 together. So just decide how you want to connect them, and then just use some hot glue to attach it. Once that is set, it should look like this. And now I'm going to use another twig of the same length to connect the next part. This time I decided to put it on the top, but place it wherever you feel is best. So what we're creating here is kind of a cube shape. So keep that in mind as you're working. Next, I'm taking another piece to connect the next section. So it looks like this. Then for the front door of the house, I just found this twig that has this V shape, and I just want to use that for the front door area. So I just trimmed off the extra at the top, and then I decided how I wanted to position it. And so I put another twig across there for it to attach to. And then just decided on the placement, and I trimmed off some extra off the bottom here. So it looked like this, and then I just glued the top in place. And then the bottom. So at this point it should look like this. So it's kind of like a cube with a triangle on the front. So next, I'm just covering these side walls with some vertical twigs, and they can be really thin ones. So it just looked like this. I did that on the back wall, like this, and then on the side wall. So all 3 walls are covered. Then for this front, I'm going to do some horizontal twigs. So I just added those on both sides. So one side looks like this, and I just repeated it on the other side. So at this point, this is how it looks. To create the roof, I took some twigs and I'm just going to make a triangle with them with the house. So I decided how long I wanted them to be and trimmed them so they're about the same length. And then just decided how I wanted them to be positioned and glued the top part in place first. And then glued the sides. And then just hold that in place until it's secure. And then I repeated it 2 more times on the rest of the house. So there was 3 of these triangles. And if you don't want to make a house, you can definitely just buy one. Because fairy gardens are so popular, there's a lot of stores that sell this kind of thing. So definitely feel free to use one of those in place of making your own house. So just adding that 3rd triangle. Next, I'm taking some black Spanish moss that I got from Joann's, and I'll just be covering the roof on both sides with this, just to add more detail and make it look more like a roof. So just pull out a clump of it. And then just use some hot glue to attach it to those pieces. And add some more moss in the areas that have less. Be careful not to burn yourself when you're gluing these on. And it looks like this. And I'm just going to repeat that on the other side. So once I repeated it, it looked like this, and it looks a little crazy right now, so I'm just going to take some scissors and trim off any of the extra moss that's hanging down and around the sides. For the garden, you can use whatever container you'd like. This was an old flower planter that I already had, and I decided that it would be perfect for this. You'll want something with a little space to work with. So for the supplies, I got all of this at the dollar store, so I have these floral decorations, reindeer moss, these blue glass pebbles, and some regular pebbles, and some popsicle sticks. So all of this cost a total of $4 to buy. And feel free to use whatever you'd like, you don't need the same things. But just go ahead and take the house and place it where you'd like it in the garden. And then I just took these popsicle sticks and I pushed them into the dirt to create a fence. Depending on how tall your container is, you may need to cut them in half before you do this. And also to fill your container, if you don't want to use dirt, you can definitely use sand. Seems like it would be a less messy solution. So I just adjusted the fence so it looked like this. Now I'm going to create a little pool over here with these blue glass pebbles. So I just made an indentation in the dirt. And then I filled it with the pebbles. And then I placed these real pebbles around it. Next, I'm going to take the pebbles and create a little walkway up to the door. So I just positioned them so they went from the door and curved around towards the side of the garden. Next, I'm taking these floral decorations and I'm putting them where they fit next to and behind the house, so they look like something growing in the garden. Next, I'm taking the reindeer moss and I'm just adding it wherever I want it to look like there's grass or some plants growing. So next to the walkway and around the pool. And these would also be great places to put either some small fake flowers or real flowers if you can find some. I just didn't happen to get any, but that would work great here as well. And then I'm just taking some flower petals and I put them on the house. And since these are real, I know they'll be temporary, but you could definitely use fake ones also, which would be more permanent. And then lastly, I'm taking these twigs that kind of look like trees and I'm sticking them in places around the garden where I'd like a tree to be. And that's it! This was really fun to make, and because they're so popular, there's a lot of supplies to make them in the stores, so be sure and check craft stores. And I think this would be a great project for all ages. Thank you so much for watching. If you try this, I'd love to see pictures of your fairy garden. You can send them to me to my email or my Instagram, which is in the description below. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next week with another tutorial.